time to travel with Alexis, a magical vacation planner. Lexy is a full-time nurse, mom to 2 kids, and married to the best travel partner ever, says she. She also has 1 large puppy that steals all her snacks and socks. They are a camping family who love Disney and all things Harry Potter. But in June of 2023, she decided to take her passion and love for trip planning and help others by starting her own travel planning business. So without further ado, Lexy, you're on, and how are you?
I'm doing so well. Thank you for having me on today.
Oh, you are welcome. I've been so excited to get to this point. So why don't you go ahead and just, get us started.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Time to Travel, where we embark on unforgettable journeys and unravel the mysteries of the travel world together. As Deb shared, my name is Alexis, but everyone calls me Lexy. And after a year of curating dream vacations, I'm thrilled to share my knowledge with all of you.
Oh, thank you. So how did you get started in this travel business?
Well, I first had the idea to join the travel industry a few years ago. I had just booked a Mexico vacation for about 19 of my closest family and friends. Found myself kind of delighted by the whole process. I thought I would be a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. The only thing I found myself wishing was that I had more knowledge to really understand the ins and outs of what I was doing. I was kind of forced to stay with more of the popular brands. I was looking at Secrets and Hard Rock because those were the names that I knew, but I knew that there was so much more out there and I just lacked the knowledge to really explore further. And I knew that I really needed to invest in my education if I wanted to develop this into a career. So my curiosity and my desire to explore the profession further only grew in the following years. I now joke that it was kind of more of a financial decision more than anything because I love planning Disney vacations. I would find myself being upset while I was in Disney, and my husband would be like, "What's wrong with you?" And I would be so sad that the planning part was over, but I would have to book more vacations while I was there. I decided that I would become a travel agent and then I would book trips for others. That way I could plan every day and it wouldn't cost me a penny. Truly the very best arrangement. And I get to do what I love. I get to make others happy and less stressed in the process.
Oh my God, that is awesome. I just love how your backstory, you get hooked on something and then it's a passion and then you turn it into a side business. Good for you. So I had mentioned your family, your kids, your husband. What else with them?
Yeah, I'm married to my wonderful, I don't know. I always laugh when people, I feel like people always use that adjective, right? Wonderful.
Right.
Sure, my husband's great, but I certainly can't say that he's, the perfectly ordinary run-of-the-mill husband, right?
Right.
But seriously, he's a hard worker. He's an all-around great guy. And most importantly, he does share my enthusiasm for travel. And most importantly, he never says no when I suggest, let's insert secretly book Disney trips. And then I spring them on him later. And when we arrive, he always is down for putting on the matching shirts, and he matches my energy level 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, we have 2 pretty cool kids. They're involved in 100 different activities. I love every minute of the chaos. And as you mentioned, our favorite thing to do together is go camping. And I could probably spend an entire segment talking about our camping adventures and the joys of camping with kids.
Well, God bless you with the camping. 2 of my daughters, actually, I'll go with all 3. They've all done the camping and all with their kids. And it's oh my gosh, I don't remember wanting to be that adventurous when my kids were young to take them all camping. So kudos to you. Let me ask you a question though. Had you been going to Disney prior to meeting your husband and having a family? Was your family into the Disney vacations as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up going to Disney as a child, and so did my husband. So it actually worked out well because both of us had our own, favorite resorts and childhood memories. And then, we also went before we even were married, just when we were dating, we each went on vacation with each other's families.
Oh, wow.
So we had a lot of different experiences to kind of bring into our family, and then those traditions that we made, and then we were able to make our own. And then actually just this past February, he and I went together without the children.
Whoa.
And that was our first time going as adults without kids. And that was a whole different experience.
I bet it was. Absolutely. Oh, that's great. Oh my gosh. I work with the other administrator and one of the teachers, mother and daughter, and they are total Disney people, 1000% through and through.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my
You
gosh.
do meet people, they either love it or they hate it.
Exactly.
We're lovers.
Yeah,
So
yeah, totally. Oh my gosh. So tell us, what's the most important thing that you want to share about travel advisors with us?
yeah, so as a seasoned travel agent specializing in parks, cruises, and getaways, I've learned that the best adventures often start with a trusted guide. And so I always like to debunk a common misconception right from the start, and it's that it never costs a cent to work with a travel advisor like me. And that's something that I never quite understood myself prior to getting into the business.
Really?
I never really understood like how do travel advisors or agents get paid? Our commission is actually already built into the price of your trip. So if you take, a company like Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, for example, if you're going on a cruise and you book on your own through the consumer site, and the trip costs like $4,500. That already includes the commission for a travel agent, but Royal Caribbean keeps the commission since you booked it yourself and you chose to book without an agent who could help you with planning, would answer all of those tedious travel questions, would ensure that you have all of your necessary travel documents in order, and would just keep things low stress and fun. It would still cost you $4,500, sometimes less if you use a travel agent, because often we're aware of promotions that you may not be aware of. But instead of Royal Caribbean keeping the commission, the company will actually pay that out to the agent. So it's never out of your pocket. It comes from the company that you book with. Agents are often small business owners like myself, and like we are just so appreciative of your support,
Yeah.
and we can't thank you enough for that.
Well, yeah, well, I'm so glad you explained that because I wasn't really aware of exactly how all that worked as well. I mean, I've worked with travel agents before, but I didn't know about the part where you were talking about, Royal Caribbean Cruise or any of them where the commission's already in that price. So why not have a travel advisor like you to, the ins and outs, where maybe a better way to do things or put a whole package together, because sometimes that can be a nightmare in itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if
Wow.
somebody is, trying to charge you and saying that it's going to cost you a fee to work with them, then that's somebody that
You
you
don't want.
probably don't want to work with, and find somebody who's not going to charge you, because there are plenty of agents out there who, again, are getting commission from the company and shouldn't be charging you out of pocket.
Very good to know. Thank you. Keep that in mind. All right. So what's the focus of today's segment?
So our focus for today, timing. I'm constantly asked, when is the best time to go to blank? I mean, insert whatever destination you want to insert there. So I figured, let's focus on when is the best time to pack your bags and set off on your next escapade. From avoiding crowds to snagging the best deals, I figured let's explore the ins and outs of finding the perfect window for your travels. Like with anything, it depends on where you want to go.
Right.
So, we should break it down by each destination.
Okay.
All right. Choosing the ideal time to visit popular spots like Disney World, Disneyland, Universal Studios can make all the difference between a magical adventure and a crowded frenzy. So we can break it down. Number one, you want to look for off-peak seasons. So if you're looking to avoid the hustle and bustle, consider visiting during off-peak seasons. The thing I always tell people that are asking me this is think about the times that children are in school, right?
Right.
Think about early, mid-September to early November. Most people do not want to pull their kids out of school as soon as they return in September. You are going to find the lowest park capacities at that time. You are going to find shorter wait times, lower hotel rates. You are going to find great promotions at that time because they're trying to get people to come, right? They want to fill their parks. They want to fill their hotels. Also, the first 2 weeks of December, the first 2 weeks of March, early January, anytime that's right after a holiday, a major holiday is over, those are great times to visit any of those parks because, again, people are unlikely to pull their kids out of school at that time. So the parks are going to be less crowded.
Wow.
Now, that's not to say that you can't have a great time if you go during a peak time. I have visited during almost every peak time there is, from Thanksgiving week. I just actually went to Universal this past Thanksgiving week, and we were in Universal on Thanksgiving Day and on Black Friday. We've been on Christmas week. We've been on spring break. I've done Disney race weekends. It's just all about adjusting your expectation and having a good plan going in.
So let me ask you a question. So just because
Yeah.
Disney is just an awesome place to visit, and if you haven't been, you need to go, and you need to call Lexi's because she'll set it up for you. Honestly, when you go during these peak times, do you do less things? Is that how you kind of plan it?
Not necessarily.
No? Okay.
I mean, what I generally do is I will get into the parks early. So I like to do what they call rope dropping. So I'll get in early, get on some of like the higher priority rides that I know are going to get a long wait as the day goes on.
Okay.
Get those rides done. And then maybe I might leave the park in the midday portion. And then I'm going to go hang out by the pool, kind of have a relaxing afternoon. Maybe if you're a napper, catch a good nap because you got up so early. Right? And then return to the park in the evening when those crowds kind of die down, and again, I'm going to work with the person that I'm, booking the trip for to see what kind of schedule they usually run on.
Okay.
But that's just how we would do it. So
Cool.
My family, we like to get up early. We like to get in there, come out, and then go back in. And we found that that's the best way to kind of avoid those peak times when you're there on a peak, day where it's going to be crowded.
Awesome. All right. Great.
Yeah.
Special events. What's a special event?
Yeah, so you can keep an eye out for special events happening. So Epcot, one of the parks in Disney, they have tons of events all year round. One of their most famous ones is their Food and Wine Festival, which is in the fall. There's also holiday-themed events like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Universal has Halloween Horror Nights. Disneyland has the Oogie Boogie Bash. There's just so many fun, unique experiences that tend to draw a larger crowd. So you do want to plan accordingly if you want to join these festivities without feeling overwhelmed. But what's unique about these is that because everyone is so focused on the themed activities, you will actually find that the wait times on the rides are way less. I was actually having a conversation just today with a family who went last fall to Mickey's Not So Scary, and they were saying that they were able to walk on to Space Mountain 5 times in a row. And she was like, it got to the point where she was like, I had to say to my kids, like, let's go ride something else. Like we do this all night, but let's find something else to do. Kind of a unique experience. It's lower wait times, event that is extra special and very unique.
Great.
Yeah.
And then of course there's weather considerations, correct?
Weather considerations, and Florida weather is quite unpredictable. I always tell my clients, like, do not stress about looking at that weather app and worrying about the rain, because every time it's going to tell you it's going to rain every day, and it might rain for 10 seconds, and
right.
And it'll change a million times before you get there.
That's right.
But generally, the fall and spring months offer milder temperatures and lower humidity levels, which make it more comfortable for exploring the park. Summer brings high temperatures and humidity, so you do need to be prepared for the heat if you visit during those months. It can be a little bit rainier in the summer. Again, that will kind of make people want to stay away.
Right.
Also, sometimes you can find the better promotions in the summer, making it, a good time to travel if you are trying to travel on a budget.
Gotcha. And just real quick, when my 2 older girls, when we had taken them to Disney, and you're right about, the rain comes and goes so quickly. The girls and I were headed over to, I don't really remember because they were young, and it was pouring. And so we stopped to get rain slickers, and we had the bright yellow rain slickers. And so I was walking, they were like behind me walking, and I was hysterical laughing because I felt like the mother duck with the 2 ducklings behind me, but they didn't care.
Yep, no. And actually, it's usually a good time because some people will get really bothered by it and they'll end up leaving the park. So if you just stick it out and find some, a nice overhead thing to hide under, wait it out, and then you'll find really low ride times at that time.
Yeah.
Hop right on a ride and you're in business.
It's exactly what happened. It was crazy because it does. It comes and goes so quick. All right. So what about special circumstances? Does that happen as well?
It does. So if you have specific preferences or priorities, such as, you really want to see holiday decorations or you really want to celebrate a special occasion, then that's something to let your travel advisor know right up front. All of the parks will transform for festive decorations during the holiday season, but keep in mind that that's also the busiest time of the year. But they do transform the parks early out. So like we could pick a time, instead of trying to visit right, at December 20th, where it's going to, the closer you get to Christmas, it's going to get busier and busier. We could pull that vacation out closer to the end of November, where you still get the holiday experience, but maybe not with the holiday price tag or with the holiday crowds. So there are ways to work around that. Same thing with birthdays. If you have a special birthday you want to celebrate, but it happens to fall at a peak time, we could still make that birthday celebration magical, but we could work around those busy times as long as we have enough time to plan that.
Wow. And this is why it's so important to work with somebody that, one, knows all about Disney and has a passion like you do, and to be able to share all that you have learned with all your travels back, to Disneyland. Have you, Disney World, Disneyland, have you been both?
Yes. I've been to both. And the only thing I haven't done with Disney is the Disney cruise. But I actually have that booked in March because I have to experience it.
Of course.
The good thing about Disney is they give you extensive training for this. So when we sign up, with Magical Vacation Planners, we're a diamond, partner with Disney. And so we have access to all of Disney's training.
Cool.
So I've learned so much. I feel like I have been on all their ships, but it's not an excuse to not experience it myself. So I am so excited to finally get on one and really be able to talk to my clients about what they're going to experience when
Absolutely.
they get there.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely makes it a business. So so like I said, consult a travel advisor, right?
Absolutely. So, when you have, the knowledgeable travel advisor, we can provide insider tips. We can help you navigate crowd calendars. I mean, just the Genie Plus system alone is enough to make people want to weep, because it does feel so overwhelming if you've never experienced it.
Yeah.
And that's the system that kind of replaced that old fast pass system to help you cut the lines at Disney.
Right.
So, I can help set you up with that. I can get you YouTube videos if you do want to figure it out yourself. If you're the type that's like, I don't even want to do it, can you just do it for me? I can do that too. I always tell everybody I can do as little as you want, or I can do as much as you want. You tell me how hands-on you want to be, and then I can tailor your itinerary to kind of maximize your experience. The more information that you provide about your likes and dislikes on a vacation, the better, and then you'll have an enjoyable experience from beginning to end.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely.
So whether you're dreaming of meeting your favorite Disney characters, or you want to explore the immersive lands of Harry Potter, or just indulge in some delicious treats, there's really never a wrong time to visit a park. So just with a little planning and some expert guidance, you're sure to create a memory that will last a lifetime no matter when you go.
Absolutely. And again, having an advisor who knows the park, knows, when to go, when not to go, how to tailor your vacation with, the way that you want it, not the way somebody else wants to plan it for you, makes a very big difference. So, having a travel advisor, why not, right? Why not have a travel advisor?
Exactly.
And why not have a travel advisor with Lexy?
I agree.
Let's get into what we're going to get to. Let's sail into the world of cruising, right?
Yes.
All right.
Let's uncover the best time to embark on your next maritime adventure.
Yeah.
The thing I love about cruising is just that it offers a unique blend of relaxation and adventure and exploration. But the timing of your voyage can significantly impact your experience. So I thought it was important to just kind of navigate through the seas of scheduling, no pun intended there. So number one, consider cruising during the shoulder seasons. And shoulder seasons is, those seasons that fall between the peak and off-peak seasons. They are typically spring and fall for most cruise destinations. So during these times, you'll find fewer crowds, pleasant weather, sometimes even discounted fares depending on the cruise line. Plus, you'll have the added bonus of witnessing, stunning natural phenomena like, blooming flowers in the spring or changing foliage in the fall. Again, just like with the parks, it's a little bit trickier for families with kids, retired, people, individuals tend to book a lot of these cruises and really get to take advantage of this, but if you don't want to pull your kids out of the school and you do have to miss the great rates and the low crowds, I get that. I wrestle with this myself, and it's always such a hard decision. I mentioned my Disney cruise that I have planned. I was looking at the first 2 weeks of December. I could save $2,000 cruising then, but unfortunately, I can't go until spring break because I don't want to pull my kids out at that time. So, there is huge money to be saved if you can pull them out.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's just how it is.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When you have
Um,
kids.
Yeah, it's hard. So, just like with any other travel destination, peak times for cruising do mean larger crowds, higher prices, more limited availability. Peak season often coincides with school holidays, major events, popular travel times. If possible, you would want to try to avoid cruising during Christmas, New Year's, and spring break, which is usually end of March through, the midway through April,
Mhm.
if you want to enjoy a more relaxed experience on board. Again, I haven't cruised Disney, but I have cruised Royal Caribbean. And I would say, depending on which ship you are on, I don't think that on cruises that it's impossible to find a relaxing spot on board.
Okay.
There are going to be more popular areas when there's, something happening, some type of event, something exciting going on.
Right.
That might be something that's kind of causing, a commotion, and people are excited to be involved in that. And you might find that to be more popular, right?
Gotcha.
But you can always find a pool or something somewhere that can be more relaxing and quiet.
Okay. Cool.
You also want to consider your destination. So the best time to cruise can vary depending on your chosen destination. For example, the Caribbean is a popular cruise destination year round, but hurricane season is June to November. So that brings the risk of storms and inclement weather, where Alaska cruises typically only operate from May to September, with peak seasons falling in July and August, for optimal wildlife viewing and mild temperatures. The recommendation I have for that is just to be aware that you can have itinerary changes, especially for those Caribbean cruises. I've had customers come back and they've been really upset that they weren't able to dock at some of the private islands or ports.
Oh.
And I know that can be so upsetting. I had one family on a March sailing, and they were on a Disney cruise, and they weren't able to get into Castaway Cay, which is their private island. And they said they were like so close they could see it.
Wow.
And then they made an announcement and they were like, it's too windy, we can't get in.
Oh, no.
And then they had to pull away. And the father of the group said, I literally was a grown man trying to hold it together for my kids. And he goes, I was crying as we pulled away. So it is hard. But I do recommend travel insurance for all travel expenses outside of the cruise. Flight, hotel, rental cars, all of that can be covered with travel insurance, because you just never know what can happen.
Absolutely.
Theme cruises and special events, always keep an eye out for them, especially if they align with your interests. I once had a client ask about a country line dancing cruise, and I didn't even, know that existed, but I got straight to work on researching that and, found that for her. And it was a whole cruise, centered on that. And that was super exciting. You can find food and wine cruises and music festivals and themed sailings. And there's just really something for everyone. But just be aware that these specialty cruises can attract larger crowds. They may require booking well in advance, but it's special, right? It's
Right.
something that is for you. And so I think you kind of tolerate the larger crowd because it's so exciting and unique. As always, just consult with your cruise specialist. They can make all the difference in planning your perfect voyage, especially the complexities of booking shore excursions and the onboard activities. I know even for myself, I'm still very far out from my cruise, but going through the endless list of what do I want to do at this port and what do I want to do here? And, what about this activity? And should I pay the extra money for this? It's really helpful to have somebody who knows, the ins and outs, and who can also tell you, like, when you get on the ship, go here first and check this out at this point. Just having that helping hand, it's just worth so much, rather than being on the internet and listening to, 100 different opinions from this negative thing happened to me this one time. And, you have a travel advisor who's worked with thousands of people who can kind of pull all of that together and give you a very, well-rounded opinion on what to do. There's also group rates. So if you have a large group of people who are going, you can save money that way. And the travel agent can help you with that as well. And that's a great way to put something together and have a special event right there on the ship that you arranged yourself.
Wow. Oh my gosh. There's like so much that I travel, but all these things that you have pointed out and references, unbelievable. I mean, this is, again, going back to when you have somebody that knows the ins and outs of traveling and booking, and having a travel advisor just makes it such a big difference. Come back. Yeah, we have some great music going on tonight, and I still have Lexy with me. I hope you're enjoying this, because I certainly am. I'm always up to learn new things, and with Lexy and all this information on having a travel advisor, I think it's great. So Lexy, all right, where are we? We're getting to the sun-kissed shores. Tell us about that.
Yeah, let's wrap this up in the sun-kissed shores and azure waters of the Caribbean. Let's uncover the best time to embark on your island getaway.
Awesome.
So like cruises, I mean, who wants to be on the beach when it's hurricane season?
Right.
It's essential to consider hurricane season anytime you're in the Caribbean. I mean, it's nothing you want to mess with. So again, the season runs June to November. It's unpredictable is the hardest part. Peak activity for that is usually August to October. You will find enticing deals during this time. The risk of encountering a hurricane or tropical storm is significantly higher. So for a worry-free vacation, just aim to visit outside of hurricane season, or again, just get that travel insurance and, be okay with deciding to forego the trip if you get close to it and decide that, a hurricane is coming or a tropical storm and it's not for you.
Yeah.
The peak season for the Caribbean generally coincides with the dry season of the region, which is from December to April. During this time, the weather is absolutely amazing. Sunny skies, balmy temperatures, minimal rainfall. But of course, if it's good temperature, you're going to have larger crowds and they're going to, skyrocket the prices. So if you want to seek more budget-friendly, tranquil experiences, try to go between May and November. Again, you're kind of playing the game here. For me, I worry about the seaweed. And again, this is a travel agent thing. I will track the resorts based on when the seaweed is worse at the beach. And I will talk to my clients about how important the actual beach is to them. Because some people are beach people,
right,
and some people are pool people.
Right.
And if you tell me that you just want to go somewhere with a great pool and a swim up bar, well, then I'm not going to worry about it, right?
Right.
You can figure that out. But if you are going because you want this beautiful beach, for my honeymoon, I wanted a beautiful beach. And I went to a resort that was like the number 3 beach in the world. I went during the worst seaweed time.
Oh,
when the
no.
way the ocean flows pulls all the seaweed here. I couldn't even get in the water. So when I'm selling, I'm always asking people. And then if that's the case, I will I will look it up and I will say, you don't want to go to this resort at this time. Let's look at something on the different side of the island. So yes, seaweed is my, arch nemesis. And I don't want you to be sitting on a beach covered in seaweed and miserable about it.
Never would I have thought about seaweed. Never.
Yeah. And it's something that you can't get away from, right? It's nature. It's going to be there, but sometimes it's just worse in the Caribbean. And we just need to, figure out when it's going to be better. And sometimes of the year it's better.
Okay.
So spring break, you can only imagine the spring breakers come in droves. So it's going to be not only busier, but it's definitely going to be a different atmosphere, right?
Right.
It's going to be more of a partier crowd. And if you prefer a quieter atmosphere, it's best to avoid those peak travel times. We could try to stay at a different resort. I'm going to read what the rules are of resorts. Some resorts do not allow groups to come in. Some will only allow certain couples. That will kind of drive away from the spring break crowd. So again, just knowing my clients is how I will get away from that. But if you just want to avoid it altogether, just avoid spring break. Events and festivals, again, considering the timing to visit to coincide with one of the vibrant festivals or events, the Carnival celebration, vacations, music festivals, foodie extravaganzas. There's always something exciting happening in the Caribbean, but you need to be sure to book those accommodations well in advance if you plan to attend a popular event. And ultimately the best time to travel just depends on your personal preferences and interests. Just like I said with spring break, some people want to get away and they want to have a lively experience. They want DJs by the pool, they want foam parties, they want the whole experience, and that's amazing. And I love booking those too, but other people are seeking a romantic getaway or a family-friendly vacation, maybe an adventure-filled escape. And there's a perfect time for every type of traveler in the Caribbean. So really, no matter when you choose to visit, Caribbean's warm hospitality and breathtaking scenery, the laid-back vibe, it awaits you. So, I say pack your sunscreen, throw on your flip-flops, get your sense of adventure ready to go, and then send me a message so we can start planning your getaway. Because, while I love Disney and you can hear it when I talk about it, and planning a cruise is super fun. There's something about planning a Caribbean vacation, you can go wild with it because there's so many options.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to plan. So, I love that one just as much.
That is just awesome. Oh my gosh. So before we go any further, tell everybody how to get in contact with you, where they can find you.
Yeah. So the easiest way, you could follow me on Facebook. So if you search on Facebook, Magical Vacation Planner by Alexis. I know Deb has been tagging me in a lot of her stuff, so you can just click on that and then follow me. I'm always posting, the latest deals. I try to put together different promotions that are available, or, something that I just found recently. So that's a great way to stay, up to date on what's being offered.
Okay.
You can also follow me on Instagram, Adventures with Bears, all together. One word, same thing. I'll post my promotions. You can also email me, which would be Herbein. And we can post this as well at magicalvacationplanner.com. Any of those options to get a hold of me, we can start working on getting your dream vacation tailored just for you.
Lexy, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, there's so much information. Hopefully everybody has been taking notes, and that they can reach out to you and ask, any questions that they might have, because there's so much that's running around in my head. It's like, oh my gosh, girl, you got a lot going on. But it's so great to have you. I am so happy to have had you on the show tonight. And I'm going to read this. Remember, when it's time to turn your travel dreams into reality, Magical Vacation Planner by Alexis is here to make it happen. As your dedicated travel advisor, she is committed to crafting unforgettable experiences tailored just for you. And here's the best part. It won't cost you a cent to work with Alexis. So whether you're dreaming of Disney adventures, tropical getaways, or high seas exploration, let's make it happen together. Reach out to Lexy and let's turn your wanderlust into wonderful memories. Until next time, happy travels. Lexy, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome.